Welcome everyone to our GGW workshop about GTM mistakes for founders and how to avoid them. Today we hosting this to help founders and support their journey. That's why we invited our expert Alex Berenov. But before we start, why are we doing this and who is GGW? So GGW is called Global World. We are #1 platform where founders can find relevant investors and we help them to connect. You just set up your profile and put your criteria and we help you to find investor that you are needed right now for your stage, verticals and whatever you need. But not just this, we also helping founders to deal with all this boring stuff that we usually don't like to do. We help with corporation setup, we help with tax filing in the US for global founders, and we also do accounting and payroll for those who need it. Now actually we are closing 2026 tax deadlines for 2025 year, and there is a 1099 deadline in January 31, Delaware tax filing, and federal income tax return on April 15. So if anyone needs help, we will be happy to assist you with this matter. And now a quick word to our founder, Daniel.
Thanks, Alex. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our GGW workshop. It's a new series of workshop we are trying out, so we would love to have your feedback afterwards and what kind of topics you would like to have on go-to-market strategy and other topics, so we can help you with your businesses and with your skills, expertise. We'll bring you the best people in the specific fields if this is something you need. So this is our experiments, continuous trials and errors to make great support that can help your business. So a step back, Global World, as Alex said, is the ecosystem as a #1 platform connecting founders and investors, but also a large digital Silicon Valley community where founders help founders. We want you to just really understand one simple thing, that helping others it means helping your own business. This is our mission that we are on since 2019, and it hasn't changed since then. So help more others, and that's how you build your own business. And if you do it in a closed ecosystem like ours, you will be surrounded with the best like-minded people from Silicon Valley and beyond, sharing your Silicon Valley mindset. So if you want to join our chats, like Silicon Valley chats, just reach out to Alex. It's free to be there. It's invitation only, but there is a rule: help more than you take. That's what I wanted to say. And one other thing, taxes are about to close. The tax season is about to close. So reach us out. We will help. We file personal taxes, corporate taxes. Go for it. We will there to help you, and my team is really good at that. Now, final thing, I am an expert in go-to-market strategy as well, and Alex is one of those who I know for a while. We will introduce him in a second. I just would say go-to-market strategy is a really important topic, how you win the hearts and minds of your customers, where you find them. And it's just the way this is the strategy to fuel your business with capital, with cash flow, and make it sustainable so it can grow. It's a very interesting topic, so prepare your questions. We are there to help you. Alex Zlotnikov, please introduce further on.
So now we are starting our session, and I want to introduce our expert, Alex Berenov. Alex, word to you.
Yes, thank you, Daniel, Alex, for having me here. Yeah, so first of all, it's not a lecture. Yeah, so it's a dialogue. Yeah, so once you have any comments, any questions, something that you just might want to know in more of the details, please reach out directly here. Yeah, you can raise a hand, you can interrupt me in any place. Just don't be shy, yeah, as usual, because if you're shy, you won't do good business. Yeah. So my name is Alex. Yeah. So I'm a entrepreneur I've been to YC in 2021 summer batch with Inspector Cloud. It's an AI SaaS for optimizing the merchandising operations. This kind of material actually I built around my experience that I had with my company, with the companies that I've consulted, where I've been an advisor. And unfortunately, not all of the things are that obvious. And many of the cases and examples and the mistakes that I will be sharing actually are my personal mistakes. It cost me millions in USD. So good thing is actually that you can maybe utilize my experience and won't repeat my mistakes. Yeah. So we'll be going through a few quite obvious and quite often things that founders, VP of sales of early stage companies, and sometimes even mature stage companies sometimes make. Yeah. So making mistakes is not bad, but the bad thing about mistakes if you don't recognize them early and if you don't learn from them. Yeah. So the go-to-market, yeah. So to start off, let's actually do some kind of a clarification of the terms. Go-to-market is not a business plan. Go-to-market is some idea of how and to whom you will be selling. Yeah. So it could be 1 page long, it could be 10 pages long. At some point, it actually doesn't matter as far as it is clear. Yeah. And the biggest challenge at this precise moment is whether you have it or you just do it by intuition. Yeah. I assume everyone understands how important go-to-market strategy is for any kind of a company, mature, early stage, raising a round, and that it's not for the investors, but rather for you, yeah, as for the founder, or maybe for the VP of sales, or maybe someone involved in the business operations. You have it, yeah, and then you start actually to execute, and that's actually the point of a time when you might find some of the challenges, and sometimes you do the mistakes that are really easy to make because you never done it before or they're too complicated. So let's start off with the first mistake. Yeah. So many people treat go-to-market strategy as some kind of a deck, not a system. What I mean, yeah. So sometimes, and I've been actually in the same kind of a boat. Yeah. So when an investor is actually asking us, how would you get to 5 million, 10 million USD over revenue? And you say, okay, so I will be doing 1, 2, 3, yeah, and maybe 3 points. And the investor responds, no. So we need to have the go-to-market. And at this point, you're doing this not for you, but for someone else. Yeah. And instead of actually putting your heart and mind into this, yeah, talking to the people, going and checking your CRM, yeah, making some notes, you just use ChatGPT and this is it, yeah. Then you show it to someone, but you never coming back for this kind of a material. And it's just maybe one-time presentation made for someone else rather than for your execution. And then you start selling. You pitch to different kind of ideal customer profiles. You go to the exhibitions, you travel to other markets, you do telecommunications, then you go for, I don't know, banking, and you're basically doing the same. And at this point, when you don't realize that the go-to-market is a system, yeah, where you have some certain ingredients, and that if you put ingredients in the right kind of order, in the right kind of a proportion, you'll have a really beautiful pie. Yeah, you're just trying to do it everything by the intuition. Yeah. So the go-to-market is actually consists of a few things. Yeah, everyone knows it. Yeah, so it's ideal customer profile. So some idea of the companies, if we're talking about the B2B space, that you might want to pitch. Yeah, market. Yeah, geographical market, for instance, US. Yeah, some vertical. Yeah, so you cannot go after many verticals same time. Yeah, because you should be laser focused on some specific vertical, on some specific niche. Otherwise, you'll be running out of the resources. Yeah, and also the way you will be selling. Yeah, so what kind of channels you would be using, what kind of a pitching, what kind of wording, everything that actually will help you to get to your potential customers. Then KPIs, simply saying, how would you measure your success, or if you're doing the right things at the right time? So the KPIs for 1 month, maybe for 2 months, for 3 months. Yeah. And product. Yeah. What is your product? Why this kind of product solves some pain? Yeah. The classical dilemma, if it's a vitamin or a painkiller. Yeah. So how important this kind of product will be for your potential customers, and what kind of resources would you have to execute your go-to-market? Yeah, so you can build a really beautiful go-to-market plan, but at some point of time you might not have enough resources. Yeah, so it could be only you and maybe your co-founder, and this is it. Yeah. You cannot rely on the partners if you're early stage. You cannot hire, I don't know, too many of the salespeople. If you don't have the budget, if you don't have the investments, or you don't want to spend your own money. That's the thing, yeah. So if you don't have the go-to-market owner inside your company, if you don't build the go-to-market for you, then it will never work. Yeah. So the first mistake that we're treating it like some kind of a deck, some kind of a business plan, is really obvious now. Yeah. How to avoid this kind of mistake? So I think actually that the easiest way to avoid this kind of a mistake is actually to have really strong executional skills. Yeah. To do what is needed and then assign someone who will be in charge of it. You cannot assign a regular sales person who will be doing the whole go-to-market. Go-to-market is a top priority, so it should be the job of the founders to execute. Without the go-to-market, there will be no business. It's really important. If the go-to-market plan is right, you might go bootstrapping. You might not need as much of the investments as maybe you think, or the fundraising will be much, much easier with the traction that you would have from the right go-to-market plan executed well. Yeah, that's a really important part also. You can have really good go-to-market, but if it's not executed, it's also not that good. Yeah. One of the key ingredients inside the go-to-market is the ideal customer profile. Yeah. So simply saying again, it's how well you understand your potential customers. Who are these people? What actually they want? Why in this precise period of time it is really important for them to have a talk with you, maybe buy a product or a service. Yeah. And at this point of time, many founders that might be nervous or maybe confused, yeah, maybe they don't know exactly what kind of ideal customer profile they would be chasing. Yeah, they've they say, okay, we'll be selling to everyone. Yeah, we have a huge market because we'll be selling to everyone. We'll be pitching to everyone. We won't sell, but we are going after a really big market. Yeah, that's what actually all investors love. Yeah, and it happens really too often. Yeah, and at the very beginning, it sounds good. Yeah, so that the market is big. Everyone wants actually to work in a big market. But then when people start trying, not actually executing, but trying to execute on this plan, they really quickly realize that it's impossible to go after everyone. Yeah, so there should be some specific audience that will be interested in your solution or service. There should be some A kind of customers that will be paying most of the money. And in this case, many people are really like have this kind of a strange fear. Oh, if I will go under some specific audience, my market will be small. Yeah, so no one will invest in my company, and I don't know how actually to grow inside some verticals. Yeah, not maybe the combination of verticals. Yeah, so they fear that they will be trapped in some kind of a niche. However, most of the philosophy behind the right go-to-market is actually saying us that it's better to have just a few customers within one vertical, yeah, that prove that you're on the right kind of a path to product market fit, than to have diverse and really different kind of customers across many verticals that actually cannot tell exactly why they are using your solution or why they actually signed a contract with you. Yeah. The reason why people sometimes are trapped in this kind of a mistake is that they like shy away from the real interviews with their customers or potential customers. They don't want to dig inside the understanding of the customers of what is actually going on inside their business. They don't want actually to be attentive. They try to sell. Sometimes they oversell. Yeah, and sometimes people buy not just because they want it. Yeah, but just because they have this kind of a pressure. Yeah. And it's also like a really common mistake, and the easiest way to avoid it is at the very beginning to define. It could be like an idea of your ideal customer profile. What kind of companies, in what kind of vertical, what kind of people, who exactly could be your stakeholders inside these companies. Who are these people? Yeah. So what is actually on their plate every day? What kind of the headache they might have because they're not getting right kind of product from the market. Yeah. If you define it, yeah, and then if you test it, you will actually have a really good kind of a feedback from the market. Yeah, that will help you to enhance your ideal customer profile if you're like not having the right one, and then you can hit it right. A really easy example, yeah. So I've been working as the CEO of AI retail tech company, and at the very beginning, everyone was saying to us, "Okay, so you're working in retail, so you can work with the retail chains, and you can work also with the fast-moving consumer goods companies like PepsiCo, Unilever. So it's really good. So the market is huge, yeah. So you can pitch to Walmart, and same day you can pitch to Pepsi." And that was actually the idea. But when I started pitching to the retail chains, it actually took me maybe 2 years to understand that it's two different worlds: retail chains and the FMCG brands, and they just are so different that I cannot offer the same kind of a solution to them. Their pains are really different. They have just one surface where they actually collide. It's the shell, and this is it. They're completely different. And my mistake at the time was actually that I spent a lot of time trying to sell either to retail chains and also to FMCG brands. If I could put this kind of energy at the very beginning, selling to the FMCG brands, I would have made much more of a progress, and I would be more persuasive while talking with the investors, partners, and so on. Yeah. So it was my personal mistake, my personal pain. Yeah. So my CP was too blurred. Yeah. And too broad. Yeah. At that point, in terms of the ideal customer profile. Yeah. So you might start with defining just one ideal customer profile and maybe some really important critical problem this kind of ideal customer profile company has. And for the start, it will be enough. And then you could add up. Yeah. If you verify one, you can go after maybe second one, or maybe you can stop if you see a really big market behind it. Yeah. The third mistake that actually was something that I also made, yeah, in my early days as a startup founder, is that sometimes we tried to position the product and like show some features, yeah, instead of explain what is the value of the solution that we pitch. Yeah. When you start to build a product, sometimes you're too excited about this product, and instead of talking with your potential customers, trying to understand actually their pains, you dig inside into the developments of different features. Yeah. And there is a really common kind of a gap, or maybe like trap, yeah, when you don't try actually to verify the features, and you don't try to verify that actually you're doing the right way. Instead, you assume that you know exactly what is happening inside other people's head, yeah, and you just develop. You develop for months. Then you schedule a meeting, show your solution, and no one buys. Yeah, and it's a common mistake. I worked in this kind of a company when I was really in my early days. Yeah, doing the B2B sales, and at that point, the CEO of the company had this fear of talking to potential customers, that he put all of his focus into the solution development. The solution was actually a monster. It was huge. They have so many features, and so far, as far as actually there was a grant, yeah, financing the development part, it was all good, yeah. But then it turned out actually that no one needs it, yeah. So, and the problem here is when founders are too technical. Sometimes it is really good when you have really strong technical background, but when your founder, instead of being business oriented, is getting too much focused on the features instead of trying to figure out how the product should look, yeah, when they hear the challenges, yeah, they're getting and putting too much of the focus into the into the features. And I do remember when we started digging into the retail market, I've started picking up the words from our potential customers, like SKU, stock keeping units, some unique terms our potential customers were using. And I was seeing actually that some people inside the team were not actually into this kind of a language. Yeah. And it showed us at it was a really early sign that they won't do a good job with the product if they don't understand exactly the language of the potential customers and how exactly solution should work. Yeah. So again, the best way to avoid this kind of a gap building features is trying to understand the business case. If you can build a business case, it will be much easier actually to build the technology stack behind it. Yeah. Try to be really clear about the problem that you're trying to solve, and it will help you to be really sharp while pitching your product. Try to use the words, use the terms your potential customers are saying. Try not to invent your terminology or and don't try actually to bring some terminology outside your target market. The fourth mistake is really personal. Yeah. So it's a confusion with the channels. Yeah. In the business, we have different kind of channels that we can use to grow the revenue, to grow the traction. For instance, we have the outbound, inbound channel. We have also the partner channel. We have the ad. Yeah, and it is okay at the very beginning of the business to test everything. Yeah, but we need to be really focused on understanding what kind of a channel will be bringing us most of the value. I never saw a business that actually was using all of the channels same time with the same kind of impact. In some of the cases, you might be relying more on the content marketing, yeah, building the inbound channel, yeah. When you're working with high check businesses, you might want to go with email or LinkedIn outreach. If you're developing some self-service SaaS, or maybe you're doing some info business, you might go with Facebook ads. But you will never see a high check B2B SaaS fully relying on Facebook ads. You will never see the self-service SaaS that will try to sell $100 subscription with our LinkedIn outreach. It just doesn't make any sense. Yeah. And instead of fearing that you just miss out some of the channels, try to understand how your check size is actually interconnected with different channels. Yeah. So again, really briefly, the more customers you have, potential customers you have, and the lesser is the check, the cheaper should be the channel. If you have a small number of customers, but the check size is pretty big, the more precise and the more customized you should be while working with your potential customers. So for instance, it might be LinkedIn outreach campaigns. It might be email outreach campaigns. It doesn't mean that you don't need to do content if you're working with potentially 1 million USD contracts. No. However, we are talking about the scalable channels, yeah? And if you would be doing only content with a high check, you won't see a lot of the customers by the end of the year, yeah? So be really attentive. Try to understand the logic of the buying and the buying principles of your potential customers. So how they actually buy, yeah. So if they're paying with a credit card, okay, so you can go after the Facebook ad. If they buy through the procurement process, there is no need to put a credit card on your website. Yeah, so no one will pay it with it. Yeah, so the good thing is try testing every channel one by one, really fast, with a really low budget, just to understand how the channel works. Sometimes you might see an interesting kind of combinations. Yeah. For instance, you won't sell from the Facebook ad if you're working with a Fortune 500 companies, but you might promote your content with the Facebook ad. Yeah. And your idea of the pipeline will be just that you will deploy the Facebook ads, yeah, for your content, and you will grow the top of your funnel. Then try to understand the customer acquisition cost. Customer acquisition cost is the number one KPI, number one figure that you need to know. Once you know your customer acquisition cost, it will be really easy to understand what kind of channels you should use. So in many cases, even before you are testing some of the channels, if you know exactly what kind of a check size you want to have, the number of the channels and what exactly channels you should use is already predefined by default. Yeah, and it's really good. That's something actually I haven't understood at the very beginning when I started building my startup, and I invested a lot into the Facebook ad, LinkedIn ad. I spent more than 20,000 USD for the LinkedIn ad at some point. Yeah, the good thing actually that it was the Microsoft investment into it, and I haven't burned out a lot of cash. But still, be really attentive, and please do not invest too much into the tests. Another really like sweet spot and maybe sweet trap for many founders is that founders are too much optimistic sometimes, and they think they see the signs of the product market fit too early. Product market fit, as one guy that I knew just put it, is that actually your customers are knocking on your door, knocking on your window, and you don't have enough time to sell. If it's not, then you're not product market fit stage. And when people are over optimistic about the traction, where they see the signs of the product market fit too early, they react with a really strange maybe way. They try to hire everyone. They try to scale the channels. They try to scale their sales, and they try to spend too much of their budgets before understanding exactly what are the channels, what are the pain points, how their solution should be working. And sometimes they find themselves in a really complicated situation where they don't have enough traction to support this kind of costs, and they just run out of the money. Yeah. Why it happens? It happens sometimes when people are not that sure about the traction, and they have the pressure from the investors to grow. Yeah. So one of the signs that the company is doing well, so it hires salespeople. Yeah. And this kind of a cargo cult, yeah, that instead of being really savvy at this cost before the product market fit, companies start to spend. They burn a lot of cash, they don't have enough results, and if they are not stopping it at a really early stage, then they might go out of the business. The best way is actually, again, to go to your go-to-market strategy to understand what kind of signs of the product market fit you should have before you go and scale your team. Yeah, the more things you can do yourselves, the better, especially when you are not at the product market fit stage. The product market fit is characterized by a number of the customers, the revenue, and also the scale of the operations. Sometimes in some of the businesses, you might have pretty big revenue, but this revenue might be coming from just one customer, and this is not a product market fit. Instead, there could be companies, and I saw them that have, I don't know, 100 of the customers that pay, I don't know, 100,000 USD, yeah, and it's a sign of the product market fit. So never scale too early, yeah, and before the time when you can explain exactly where and how your customers are, basically. Yeah. So then one of the also crucial mistakes that I also made at some point is when you are trying to fit just one successful business case into all kinds of environment, into all kinds of the market, geographical, verticals, everything. Yeah. We have this kind of idea that if something is working, you shouldn't fix it. However, when you're trying to scale your sales through going into the international sales, you should be really attentive. I have a personal experience of selling to over 25 different countries, and I should say that it's a really complicated process of entering a new market. Basically, you will need to reset everything that you know about the market, everything that you know about your potential customers, because the wordings that that used to work at your home market might not work 100%. Yeah, and sometimes it is tough. And actually, it raises a question: why should you go outside your home market if you haven't got actually really good traction there? Yeah. So don't try to be too generic. The best way to scale fast and to get a reliable traction curve is to be really to have a real detailed kind of a plan, not being generic, not trying actually to sell with just one strategy. It will make your it will make actually the whole path pretty much complicated. Yeah, for some of the markets, you might choose a partner channel. For some of the markets, you might go with the direct sales. If you have just one plan and you try to scale it everywhere, it won't work. Yeah, you need to understand the way the market works. You need to find some validation in this market. Only then you can try to build the go-to-market strategy. Don't be 100% sure that you understand exactly how a new market works. Try to challenge everything, yeah, and it will help. Copy pasting is not the way really successful businesses are working. Yeah, so try to be flexible. Try to understand the peculiarities of each of the market that you're entering. And of course, don't try to go and commit with 100% of the resources that you have. Be really savvy. Another mistake that actually I'm also seeing in many of the businesses, and this kind of mistake was also I also saw in my business. Yeah, to be honest, is that you're not asking the feedback. So you're selling your product to your customers, but you don't care what happens next. So you got the contract, you got the money. Okay, thank you. Bye bye. Here's your product. See you in 12 months. Yeah. For some of the reason, many businessmen sometimes are really pure, honest, and straightforward feedback. Instead of asking if the solution is working the right way, if you're having the kind of impact of your business that you're expected, that will actually help them to enhance the product. They are too nervous about this. I had this actually in my business when my even senior colleagues from the technical department admitted that they never read the comments of the end users. So we had something like 50,000 of end users, and sometimes the reviews and comments were really harsh. Yeah. And when I heard this, I told them, no, guys, it's not working this way. If you won't be working with the comments and with the end users, we will never succeed. Even though it could be rude, even though it might ruin your evening and you won't sleep at night sometimes, yeah, because this kind of situation happened when something wasn't working. People would say out loud that, no, please take it away. We won't work with this kind of a solution tomorrow, yeah. But it's actually the way you're building a solution that is so sticky that everyone wants to have it, yeah. And I had the point of a time when there was actually a clear path, either into the scaling the business or making some small niche and maybe one customer kind of a business. And it's actually the point when I started asking the questions, when I persuaded everyone in the team that we should be doing the customer success interviews every month, and our customers should rate how we work. And all the bonuses to the team will be dependent on the performance of each of the departments. And we won't be, as a CEO and a founder, I won't be deciding on the bonuses. Yeah. And we started with the like really low grades. Yeah. Like in a school. Yeah. And from maybe 2 out of 10, but then started to grow. Yeah. And we have grown up to 8, 9 in some of the cases. In some of the cases, it was still 7. Yeah. Out of 10, but we started with the 2. So there was a clear progress that actually help us to grow the business, to grow the revenue, and also to be more precise and more attentive to the customers. Yeah. So we need to do the reviews. We need to understand the feedback. We need to understand why some of the customers haven't signed up with us. Yeah. You can ask direct questions, and sometimes you can get really honest replies. And it will help you to update your ICP. It will help you to update your messages, your decks, the way you pitch, and the way you serve your customers. That is how many businesses are made. Yeah. So this is it from my side. Thank you. If you have some of the questions, I will be really, really happy to answer it.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Alex. So I guess this is the time when we switch to questions, and Alex Lotnik will run the session. I personally think that go-to-market is just the fundamental one of the very important tools you should use when you're starting your company. But it's not just like you do it once; it's an ongoing thing. All right, let's see the questions. I see, by the way, that there are so many questions from around the world. We have people in San Francisco, Auckland, Nigeria, Faroe Islands, Buenos Aires, Norway. So, like, it's literally right now everyone is listening to you from around the world. Alex, do you have any questions?
Yeah, so we saw a couple of people who wanted to ask. There was a question from Dmitry who asked about the important metrics and GTM best practices and how to position B2B2C models for investors.
Well, yeah, it's a good question. Yeah, so actually, I won't say that actually I'm really 100% expert in the B2C market. Yeah, because the metrics there is a bit different. Anyway, so for the B2B space, the main KPI for the go-to-market is the number of the customers. What is the revenue growth, number of the markets? So are you doing 2-3x per year, or are you growing like 10-20%? Yeah. What is actually the vertical that you picked in, and what is the market share that you want to have, and how fast you are moving to this exact figure? Yeah. So in a B2C space, it's more focused. It's really focused on the customer acquisition cost. Yeah, it's really important to have it as low as possible, because you don't have that much of a channels that you can use for the B2C. Yeah, and if the customer acquisition cost will be too high, you could be in a really complicated situation. So customer acquisition cost, then the right kind of a channel. Again, in a B2C space, you don't have that much of a channels that you might work with. So, and if you like put too much of a pressure and too much of a focus on the wrong kind of a channel in the B2C space, the weight of your mistake could be more than in B2B space.
Okay, we also have a question from June. June, do you want to ask?
Thank you so much. First, I'd like to thank Alex. Alex, you present so well. You're not super fast in talking. You're like a normal human being visiting with us and helping. So thank you. So I have a two-sided marketplace. Right now, I am working on the floor of the website, getting everything correct before I continue scaling. I made like mistakes, so many mistakes. So right now I'm back to the floor of the website. But have you worked in a two-sided marketplace, and how do you decide? Like I have farmers and customers. So how do you decide what to do first when you're going to market? Or do you do both a little bit? So that's my question.
Well, yeah, it's with the marketplaces, it's always complicated. You need actually to find the way to get the customers, as much of the customers as possible, really cheap. Yeah, before even you have exact kind of a supply. Yeah, so because if you figure out the way to connect to the customers, it will be much easier to bring in the farmers, for instance, in your case. Yeah. So it's really tricky. It's complicated. I cannot say there are many people who succeeded in building the marketplace. It's enormously complicated.
Well, that won't stop me. So
Sure.
Somebody has to do it. Thank you so much.
We have a question from Hui. How would you recommend reaching to the mass market within an age range? Let's say young people, B2C.
Well, again, with the B2C, you don't have that much of a choice. It should be content marketing. And you need to find a way to promote your content at a very affordable price. You need to figure out the right platform for your content. Yeah, in some of the cases it might be video content. In some of the cases it might be text, and you need to know where exactly your target customers are spending their time. Yeah, and it will be in your case. It will be actually the key. Yeah. Different kind of content is actually behaving differently. So video builds trust, but in some of the verticals, video just don't work. The same is with the text. Not everyone wants read.
Yeah, and I would add also there is like a follow-up comment from Andrei Sanenko. He suggested while you were presenting your content. So he suggests building a community in parallel that could potentially use your solution. They can act as alpha users, early customers, and the source of feedback. So that's one of the ways I think to maintain the network of your early adopters, like loyal to you, and they're not going away and disappear. So you can ask them a little more questions than it's just a random customer out of the blue and then it disappeared. So what do you think on that? Like how people can capitalize on this?
Well, communities is actually helping many businesses to sell. Yeah, the main challenge actually is to build this kind of a community. Yeah, as you know, Daniel, it takes a lot of effort. and it's sometimes it's even more complicated than to sell, to be honest. Yeah, because community is like a living organism, and it does not necessarily will bring you to some sales. Yeah. However, still you will have the people that trust you. It's again it's an interesting journey, and you need to be really extroverted. You need to be really investing a lot of the effort. It's really complicated.
Yeah, and I would also add here is that I think every business, B2B or B2C, should have their small or big community, doesn't matter. When you start your community for your business as part of your go-to-market strategy, you should not really be afraid of this death valley when you have like 3, 5, 10 people in your community and like, oh, my community is such so small. I'm so like ashamed of this, or like so disappointed it's not growing. I'm doing so bad. So you're not. Yeah, if you have 1 or 2 people in your community, it's a good start. Just be good for them, and it will be more, and it will be 5, it will be 10. You should not really worry about that. Be the best community leader for these small people, and then it will grow. So trust is the foundation. It will decrease your marketing costs drastically, and these people will bring you more people. It may take some time. It's okay. Just be yourself. You don't have to be someone else. And with this small, it will take you to a bigger one later on. You should not freak out like if you have very small people. This is how everyone is starting, by the way. And I started like that. In my chat, I had like very few people in our community just 6 years ago. And now we have many thousands of people. And the message is simple and the same since the first day: help more than you take. And people believe in that. So you will find your way. And this is how you decrease your marketing and go-to-market costs. One of the tools, I think, is really important. Okay.
So my question, in my imagination, SEO requires to optimize for enough broad selection of keywords. I'm expecting that it may be incompatible with choosing a small ICP set, because SEO might require more keywords, but I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a SEO expert.
Thank you for a question. If you will be building a content for one specific ICP, it will make your SEO promotion much easier instead of going too broad. Yeah. In some of the cases, you might want to have all of the keywords inside the industry if you're building your content for the top of the funnel. So you have different kind of content marketing strategies, yes, and depending actually on what you're doing, you might be narrowing your ICP or making it more broad. Yeah, for the top of the funnel, you might be like talking to your potential customers, to your ICP exactly, maybe to some people in the industry that might not be actually have the buying power. Yeah. But while you're moving down to your tunnel, yeah, you might be narrowing the ICP. Also, there is also the Geo, yeah. So the ChatGPT is also selling, yeah, and so still you need to be you still need to understand what you're doing with your content, yeah. So if you narrow the ICP, it's actually making it easier to sell, yeah, and easier to build content.
We're building what's called an integrity economy, where the most people that have the most integrity, their content goes to the top. So it kind of, the end result is that the user gets high like logical and well-founded information. So the question is, how do you, like, what's the best way to go to market strategy for a startup like that?
Who are these users? Is it a B2B space or B2C?
So it could be everyday users, but the idea is to go after subject matter experts. So they,
Okay.
yeah.
Got it. So again, depends on the number of these users. Yeah. So if the number is big, yeah, you might go with the content. Building content for this kind of end users. Try to promote the SEO. Yeah. As we discussed here in the previous question. If the number of these users is small, you might go with the email, LinkedIn outreach, because it will be much more easy actually to find them online, send them a message, get them on a call, and talk.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I think the last question we have not answered was, how would you advise testing the GTM while still in the initial product building stage?
It's a good question, yeah, because sometimes people think that they are too early to build a GTM. The best way is actually to sit and write a GTM on a napkin, yeah, just to understand how would you sell. Yeah, so my first idea, for instance, when I started my startup was I would sell through partners. I talked with 10 partners, no one sold. Okay, it isn't working. Let's try direct sales. That's how it works for me.
Hey, thank you, Alex, for these insights and great questions. We have no more questions and we're out of time, so we are finishing this session. Thank you everyone for joining us today. It was great meeting you, and we wish you the best luck with your startups. But don't forget to follow us and join our next sessions. We are hosting them pretty much every month, multiple times per month. We have webinars, we have pitch sessions, and we have a pitch practicing bootcamp as well. I will give a word to Daniil.
Yeah, thank you, Alex, and thank you, Alex. So today I'm a little confused. Yeah, so before I say something, let's just have a quick group photo with our audience here. Just a second. Well, just raise your hand like this. 1, 2, 3. This is what we will post on our social media. This is how we do group photos on Zoom. I think that was very practical. We want to see and hear your feedback, guys. Just share what you think of this. We don't want to like make it like sexy presentation wherever. We want to like really dig into like real problems of yours. Give you some like most common failure practices, like do's and don'ts, and like to kick off a conversation about that. If this is something you want to continue on, let us know. If you want to have other topics, let us know. And with that, I would like to say to Alex Berenov, thank you. I know you for quite a while. Alex been a successful entrepreneur, have been a voice for entrepreneurs in the business space as well. So super excited to have you. Thank you for sharing your expertise and knowledge with the audience. And please share your contacts in the chat so people can connect with you. And just thank you everyone for connecting, joining, and this is how Go Global World is trying to help you every single day. It's one of the ways we connect and support. So shout out to us on social media, on LinkedIn, tag us, and please spread the word with everything we do. It helps us to keep our costs on marketing zero because you support us, and that's why we do free events with content like this. Thank you, Alex. This is the time. Maybe Alex, you want to say a few final words or what you have on your heart and mind?
Yes, thank you, Daniel, thank you, Alex, for bringing me. You're really great organizers, audience, great questions. We'll be happy to have another workshop. Please share the feedback, please share the questions. What is on the table? How would you define actually the biggest challenge that you have? Yeah. So my final maybe idea is actually that it's not important how much of the investors you have. The most important part is actually how good you are at selling, yeah. And I'm here actually to maybe help and assist you on this journey. Thank you.
Thank you. Time to close.
Thank you, everyone. And thank you for being here. If you will want to connect with Alex, you can post his LinkedIn here in comments or reach us and we'll try to connect with him. And follow us. Let's go global together, and good luck with your GTM strategy. We will be happy to help you.
Thank you.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye. Have a good one.
Bye, everyone.